This is the S&P 500 one-month overview reading for July 2022. It's currently June 20th, 2022, 10:03 p.m. So the overall theme and behavior is going to be a move higher through a horizontal resistance level, followed by we stay there briefly above it, and then we break back down through it. It's the move up and the move down through the price level are likely about equidistant. So that's the main theme, and then it's crossed with selling from overbought territory, from near overbought territory on the RSI. There's a notable decline that stands out in the middle of the month, and a trade opportunity, a good trade opportunity early in the month. Looks like on the first, there's like 3 trade opportunities. There's a ton of trading opportunity here in the midst of a prominent lower trough. All right, so the behavior out of the month's high is going to be a decline with increasing momentum as we move forward in time. And there'll be a prominent trough or bottom, at least on a one-day chart. Maybe bigger, but at least on a one-day chart, there'll be a prominent trough that forms shortly after. It's probably a multi-day chart, but a prominent trough that forms shortly after the decline that increases in momentum out of the month's high. The behavior going into the month's low is going to be an important or a prominent decline through multiple important support levels, and it would stand out on a year-to-date chart. So on the first 3 trade opportunities, looks like we have a day trade opportunity and a swing trade opportunity in here in the midst of that trough. Multiple headwinds push the S&P 500 lower, and there's a trade opportunity. There's a trade opportunity when we're rotating along an important support level. There's another trade opportunity in the midst of a fast sudden move higher that marks the end of a period of volatility on the one-day chart. And then there's a swing trade opportunity that takes place in the midst of a move to the upside. On the 5th, we have 2 local lows in the midst of a notable decline on a multi-day chart. There's 2 local lows, and a local low, what I mean by local is that if you're looking at a one-day chart of the 5th, you'll see 2 prominent troughs or lows that will form in the midst of that decline. On the 6th, we have 1 local high and 1 local low. Notable decline off of the local high will reach a prominent trough on a one-day chart. And the low will form after we decline through a support level to another one, and then we bounce along that support level for a little bit before breaking down through multiple support levels. The basic behavior for the 6th is going to be a fast sudden move higher along a diagonal trend line, marking the end of a rally and breaking down through that trend line with increasing volatility as we move forward through the day. On the 7th, we have we'd expect the S&P to move lower due to multiple headwinds. However, it still moves higher. There's a cash-in opportunity on the 8th in the midst of 3 trade opportunities. 2 local highs. So 1 local high forms when we have a crisscross back and forth through the same price level 3 times. From the other local high, there's a decline, a sharp decline. From the other local high, there's a decline with a prominent drop in the midst of it. It'll stand out. One of the trade opportunities will take place when we have a fast sudden move to the upside, marking the end of a period of volatility. Another day trade opportunity when we're rotating along a support level. That's the cash-in opportunity there. And then a swing trade opportunity in the midst of a move to the upside. Notable, like it'll stand out. Looks like we have a low, at least for the week here, on the 8th, or prominent low. There's a trough here at the end of the week. There's a trough and a trade opportunity on the 11th. In the midst of a sideways rotation that increases with bullish sentiment as we move forward in time. And then there's an important support level that's highlighted. It's an important support level that's highlighted on the 11th. We have 1 local low on the 12th. It'll be a decline with consecutively lower spikes on the way down, and those spikes generally they meet moving averages as as their resistance. Looks like we have a month's high here on the 13th. We have profit taking after we move up through a horizontal resistance. We then break back down through the same price level shortly after, due to profit taking near overbought territory on the RSI. The local high, out of the local high, there'll be a dip, a decline with a prominent dip in the midst of it. We have two local lows, a local high, and profit taking off of a near overbought crest on RSI for the 14th. We meet an important resistance level, and then we decline through the day with increasing volatility as we move forward in the day. And the two local lows, we don't revisit that price level of the high that we fall from. We don't revisit that price level on a one-day chart. And then one of the local lows will be the power card will attempt to establish support at an important support level. The other local low is going to be a fake out, so be careful for that. And then we have a swing trade opportunity on the 15th. Possibly another high for the month. The month's high, I see a month's high here on the 13th, and then we have two aces, which are really wild. It's hard to. There's a correlator to a month's high here on the 15th, so we may revisit the high or have a high on the 15th, or this may be the high, and then we just drop. Hard to really pinpoint that just yet. When we get closer, it'll be a lot easier. But we do have a prominent decline on the 15th, and in the midst of that decline, it'll stand out on a multi-day chart. In the midst of that decline, there's an opportunity to open up a long position. I think the 13th is likely the month's high, but it's in there between the 13th and the 15th. I'd rather be early than expect the 15th and not see it. On the 18th, excuse me. On the 18th, we have the majority of the behavior is going to be bumping along horizontal resistance. We may break through some resistance and then bump along another one. But that's the majority, and there'll be a breakout out of the one local low that we'll see. Important price level towards the end of the day and first thing in the morning on the 19th, where we I'll notate whatever that price level is early in the morning on the 19th, because it's end up being important. One local high on the 20th, and selling, profit taking from overbought territory on the RSI. We don't revisit the price level of that high within the one-day chart of the 20th. We don't revisit it within the day of the 20th. And there's a rally, it looks like there's a rally that forms somewhere in the middle of the day on the 20th, an important rally. We do have decline, a day trade opportunity here on the 21st in the midst of notable decline through multiple support levels. One of those trade opportunities is going to take place in the midst of a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of volatility. And the other one's going to take place at an important support level, the Ace of Discs, which I'll notate as well at that time. On the 22nd, we have we meet a resistance level, and then we break down with increasing volatility on the way down. There's two local lows. One of those local lows we attempt to establish support at an important price level, and then the other one's a total fake out, so be careful for that as well. Looks like we move higher over the weekend, and we have three pokes through a price level on the 25th. After the third poke, we drop sharply. But there is a prominent move here. There's a prominent move here on the 25th, like a notable move if you're looking at a multi-day chart. Notable move here to the upside. Matter of fact, it's not necessarily to the upside. There's a notable move there, I think, off of that third poke. And then we have a trade opportunity in the midst of a midday high on the 26th. That price level will also be something that I'll notate. And it'll be a resistance level where volume really peters out. There's not so much like price swing or anything. We kind of like flatten out for a little bit, and that'll be signify that important price level. On the 27th, there's a period of rotation where we revisit a support level that was recently a past opportunity, and we revisit that in the midst of a sudden drop in the midst of that period of rotation. There's a swing trade opportunity on the 27th as well. a fake out at the low, so be careful for that. And one end of a range is highlighted here. That's where the trade opportunity will be, at one end of the range. I'm gonna go ahead and say at the lower end of the range. We have a move to the upside after some news that comes out overnight or first thing in the morning on the 28th. There's a big move to the upside, the beginning of a rally that continues into the 29th with a notable move to the upside and a swing trade opportunity. So I'd buy calls on the 27th and sell them on the 29th. That's one swing trade opportunity. What else we got? And then there's a higher high on the in August than there is in July. Looks like early in the month of August, and then we have sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend that precedes a notable rally. That's the overall behavior for August. And that's it, guys. That's S&P 500 for July 2022. Let me know what you think. If you like this sort of thing, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, my friends. It's very, very helpful for us. Really, really need those subscribes. And it's a good birthday present. My birthday is July as well. Most importantly, though, my friends, when you make money from this reading, pay it forward. See you on the next one.